Yeah, so the communique is out. Pretty much, yes, part of diplomacy, part of peace, but also we are keeping a standing troop aside. And that has also sent a very strong signal to the Nigerian coupists. Because there was a message that came out yesterday that they were threatening also to kill Mr. Bazoum in the case where they invade the country. For me, I see that as one, yes, a threat, but two, it's an indication that the coupists are also feeling the pressure. For them to be able to put out a rash measure like that in strategy, that means they are feeling the pressure. What we can also do, since we've opened the channel of conversation and communication through that cultural means, which can also be said sort of like, you know, interpersonal relationship, be it soft power, be it anything, let us improve on that to be able to talk to these people. Because when you look at it, based on what is on ground, I don't see these coup plotters having that acceptance of the people for a long time. The bellwether for any country is the economy. The Nigerian economy, obviously, is starting to falter. And if that happens, then definitely the people will start to ask questions from their governments. So the people's support will definitely whittle out at some point. Then the question is, can diplomacy come in? The troops on standby, not necessarily putting those troops in, but it shows that they are feeling the heat. So the question is, what can we quickly do? I think it's also good to be able to explore that channel even further, Emir Sanusi's channel. So how quick can we also get a government, Nigerian government, probably now then an ECOWAS rep team, emissary, to also meet with these people? What would be the cards on the table? The scenario on the table is, these leaders are already digging in, they're consolidating. Best case scenario now is a transition. I think the possibility of Bazoum coming back is very slim. The odds, very low. Let's not deceive ourselves. Can we talk to these people about a 1-2 year transition down the line, then call back for democracy? And they will make their demands. Probably one of their demands will be, they don't want Bazoum to run in the elections. Or they want him to run in the elections. Also, explore other paths, because there are other political angles to all of this. One, the CRR rebel group that has a very strong foothold in the north. Also, you need to involve them in a conversation like this. Because with this threat that they might kill Bazoum, that might intensify efforts. Only God knows who is using them. Intensify efforts, talk to all of them. Also, the past leaders. It's so full, like the ambassador mentioned yesterday, and some other people that have strategic interests there. Make the conversation spread across board. And then keep the sanctions in place. Once that sanction kick in and they lose the respect of the people and they lose the support of the people, then it becomes an easier conversation. And then be realistic about it. I don't think Bazoum will be coming back anytime soon. So let's look at it that way and let's say a panzer. But let military option be out of the cat. Yeah, we can keep a troop at standby, which I think is also a negotiation strategy. Which I think is to bring in that air of, if you do otherwise, we might invade. But I don't think we'll be using that. Let's keep that aside as a negotiation strategy, and let's keep the heat on those guys. And they'll balk. Just some strategy put it out there.
I find that President Tinubu is in a very delicate situation. You know that he had approached the Senate of the Federal Republic to ask for, the imprimatur of the people's representatives to follow up on the resolutions of ECOWAS. And the Senate said no. Only, take part in peace and mediation options. Do not contribute Nigerian troops. And they committed their resolution into writing. So the president acted under Section 5, Sub 4 of the 1999 Constitution, and the Senate of the Federal Republic responded. Is President Buhari going to commit Nigerian troops? Is he going to defy the Senate of the Federal Republic? Is he going to go back to the Senate of the Federal Republic or the National Assembly? Or is he going to act under Section 5, Subsection 5? Even if he does, and he sends Nigerian troops, now that the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Abubakar, is saying that the Nigerian Air Force is on standby. The Nigerian Air Force is ready. We have 75 more aircraft in the fleet. Okay. Are they going to deploy those fleet of the Nigerian Air Force without the approval of the National Assembly? Section 5 sub 5 is very clear. If you commit, then you must go back to the same National Assembly within a week, and you will get a reply within 14 days. Now, if he doesn't do that, that will be an impeachable offense. That will amount to gross misconduct on the part of the President of Nigeria. Nuland, the Undersecretary of State of the United States, is the person quoted by Associated Press as having said they have intelligence that, the coupists are saying if there is any move against them, they will eliminate President Bazoum. And which is why maybe President Ouattara is saying even keeping the man in isolation amounts to a terrorist act, in quotes. But the UN Secretary General has also expressed concern to say that, look, this man is in isolation and is being fed with rice, although some people may consider rice a special delicacy.